taking you down into my ceramic studio because I am about to change things up drastically. This complete chaos here is storage for shows and arts festivals, which for the time being is just going to stay put. Scanning past messy things that have been displaced. Okay, here's the real space. Now, this section is going to remain the same. That'll be for casting, for plaster molds for new work. This section has already moved, and that was the glazing table. So that was the first section of stuff, first place in the studio that I relocated to upstairs. I'm going to write all the details in a blog post. I'm very new to video, so bear with me. Needless to say, it's a huge change, and there are quite a few reasons behind it. The small kiln and the slightly larger kiln will stay down here, of course, and all of this is bisqued tiles, bisqued pendants, and some sculptural components that are waiting to be glazed. So this little corner of the basement will stay the same. Now, moving into the studio proper, this work table is where the magic happens. It was actually a table from my high school ceramics teaching classroom. So there's some good energy and some history in that. But kind of looks like a mess, but it's actually pretty much how it always looks, in that there's a work zone here, and then on the opposite side of the table, I can press tiles. So I've got some of those molds out waiting for next time I get to that. So this table, this main operation area, will move upstairs. Behind it, you see my glaze storage, and some of that will come upstairs into the new studio that I'm creating. Some of the surplus glazes will stay here. This area, I'm going to play that by ear, see how the upstairs studio evolves and what room I have for things. Obviously, some of those plaster molds for my tiles will come upstairs as well. Shelves for drying things, pretty self-explanatory. And then here on this tall table is the slab roller. So this will come upstairs as well. So I'm looking at moving half of the studio, the actual production half, to a smaller space upstairs, because honestly, it's cold down here. This is an unfinished basement. It becomes a little bit gloomy. And with staying at home for the last 2 months, and for I don't know how many more months in the future, it's time to make some drastic changes to spend more time in a more inviting space. So we'll see what comes of that. But I wanted to document this space before I start tearing it down today. It's gone through a couple evolutions. This is the most functional. It's been this way since we fixed the basement flooding problems, because having your studio flood is really horrific. No other way to say that. So it's been great, and I've done quite a lot of work here for festivals for, gosh, over 10 years. So this is a big change. So it's a big day. So it's going to start to look pretty rough in a few, but I wanted to document this before, and I'll keep you posted on the after.